Welcome to the channel. I wanted to talk today about Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius, which is a very, very big deal. And that is happening for us this week. And it's going to have a massive, massive impact for us, both individually and collectively. I want to kind of break down how this is going to affect us as a whole, as the human family, and how this is going to affect us individually, because it really does bring a lot of change and a lot of unexpected change that comes with it. So we'll talk a little bit about Pluto first and just understanding Pluto's cycle and Pluto's orbit around the sun. So one full loop around the sun for Pluto takes 248 years. Now, that's a very long time, which means it spends approximately 20.6 years in one sign. So we've spent the last 20.6 years in the sign of Capricorn, and that is now ending this year as Pluto is going to transition into the sign of Aquarius on the 21st, on the same day that the sun also moves into the sign of Aquarius. So there's this really beautiful transformative energy that is coming with this. However, it is definitely going to be bringing a lot of let's just say breakdowns, a bit of destruction with it, because Pluto, as we know, is the planet of destruction, kind of war. Pluto is also about death and rebirth. So I don't look at Pluto as a negative planet ever, because if you think about how necessary death and rebirth is in our lives, you know, just looking at nature itself, how it goes through a death and rebirth process every single year, right? And how it's demonstrating to us how it is necessary for us to also go through a death and rebirth process within ourselves. So Pluto is going to be really, really highlighting this and really showing us how incredibly necessary it is for certain things to be reborn and for certain things to die, for certain things to fall away, particularly things that are really, really outdated, really stagnant, things that we no longer resonate with. And when you look at society as a whole, when you look at just the people of Earth, okay, as a whole, I think there's a lot of energies here that we are just like really over it, that we're really sick and tired of, the energies that we just don't want to like feed into anymore, that don't serve us positively, and energies that we're just ready to graduate from. There's a sort of graduation cap I keep seeing. So it's definitely a graduation energy that I'm picking up from this Pluto transit. And I can feel already how much it's wanting to push everything out of our lives, individually and collectively, that just doesn't fit into your life anymore. All things that are stagnating, all things that are holding you back in some kind of way, things that are stopping you from being the most real, the most authentic version of yourself. And I've been talking about this since 2016, literally, about how incredibly important it is for us to become authentic again, individually and as a society, where we can start trusting ourselves and each other again, right? We've been put through this massive separation programming, right, for a really long time. That has an opportunity to now change, to now shift. And we get to choose, we get to decide, because Pluto is also pushing us, and Pluto moving into Aquarius particularly is pushing us to also reclaim our personal power. You know, it's like, when are you going to stop giving your power away to things, to addictions, to other people, to situations that don't serve you or that you don't like, people's opinions, to other people's vision for you, and things like that. It's like, when are we going to stop allowing others to dictate what is good for us instead of us deciding for ourselves what is good for us and what resonates with us at this time? So the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was in 1778. So, you know, quite a long time ago. And it was there for 20 years, from 78 to 98. And I looked a little bit at the history of what was happening during that time. Now, there was definitely a couple of wars, for sure. And the French Revolution actually began in 1789. So right within that 20-year period, we had a French Revolution. So Pluto brings and I'm getting sort of tingly vibes on this. Pluto is bringing this revolution energy, and I can really feel that. It's like this culmination point of people just getting really tired of the way things have been and following certain rules and certain orders that we just don't want to follow. So there's this massive revolting, this changing within us and about our standards and about our values and becoming way more in alignment with that. So if you're recognizing within your own self as an individual that, hey, there are certain things I'm just totally not okay with, certain rules, certain laws, certain, things that are put in place right now for society that I just don't agree with, right? Those things are really, really going to come up for us to review. They're going to be under a magnifying glass, basically. We're going to be looking at things on a societal level, so on a very, very big level. Now, revolution. What is revolution, right? If we want to define revolution. Revolution is a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system. And that's exactly where I feel we're at. We're in this period of we're ready for something new. We're ready for something different. We need to do stuff differently because this just feels like the same old, and the level of control that has been placed upon us and we will tell you what to do. That energy is just breaking apart. And that is what Pluto is coming in to break apart at this time. It's just going to smash it to bits and it's going to force us to reclaim our power, force us to become sovereign individuals again and to own our humanity, our consciousness, That's the kind of revolutionary energy that Pluto is bringing us, moving into this Aquarian sign. Now, Pluto, like I said, represents death, rebirth, destruction. It also represents the underworld. So Pluto is going to be highlighting and bringing to the surface the underworld, the underlying hidden truths that have been out of sight for quite some time. And I'm getting tinglies on this one too. So there's a lot of revelation energy. Holy cow, am I ever getting tinglies on that one? Full goosebumps. So there's a lot of this bringing the underworld to the surface so that it can be seen, so that it can be felt, so that it can be experienced by humanity. And we get to choose whether we're going to be accepting of that, whether we're going to allow all of those truths that are now emerging to just get brushed back under the rug again, or are we going to do something about it? Are we going to take action? Are we going to stand up for our rights? Are we going to stand up for ourselves, stand up for our values, our standards that we have for ourselves individually and collectively, right? So if you kind of look at it, it's already begun, right? The Epstein files, right? That all just came to the surface and the list, right? This massive list that had just come to the surface. And actually, Pluto and Aquarius is going to be a lot about politics. So there's going to be a lot of reform in politics. There's going to be a lot of reviewing of the people that are in position of power at this time and how they practice, how they actually live their lives. Is there authenticity behind what they say and what they actually do, right? Is there a connection? Is there truth to it or reality to it? Or are they putting on a mask, right? The whole mask thing and the whole authenticity thing is just such a general theme at this point that it's ongoing, like it has been for quite a few years now, but it's just ongoing, and it's only going to, the pressure I feel is mounting for this authenticity. There is just this universal cosmic craving for humanity to be real again, for humanity to acknowledge who we are actually as creators, as co-creators and divine creators, right? So again, certain rules, certain things are just not going to fly for humanity anymore. We're just not going to be able to tolerate certain bullshit that comes out of politics. And as we all know, politics is dirty, right? That's just the truth of it. It is dirty, always has been, right? It is anything that extracts God from the equation is going to be, in some sense, unholy, right? So that's, something that I'm feeling with that as well. Now, Pluto packs a serious punch when it comes to clearing away dead, unwanted, unneeded energy. Okay. And especially dead weight energy. So again, relationships that are not built on authenticity and true love and are lacking divinity are not going to last. Connections in all areas of our lives that are unauthentic or that lack that integrity or lack that true foundation of love. All of those connections are just going to fall away. So that's going to continue unfolding. And both from a personal and collective lives, there's going to be a lot of falling away of like the dead, heavy weight that we have been carrying, like I said, individually and collectively. And that's awesome. That's a great thing, right? You just have to keep in mind that these changes always come with disturbance. They always come with upheaval. Any change that you really make has to come with some level of upheaval, because like you have to move through that upheaval to finish processing out one energy before really entering into a whole different kind of vibration level, right? So unfortunately, there is no new without the destruction of the old. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say there. Now, it also plays a role in the way that we come back from destructive situations in our lives. So this is major glow up energy. So Pluto is bringing in this huge opportunity for glow up, right? For so many of us. And it's asking us, how are you going to reclaim your power now that you're wiser, you're stronger, you've been through so much more, you have such a deeper understanding about your past mistakes, and you've learned from so many of those mistakes. What is your comeback going to be like? Pluto is asking that again, individually and collectively. How are we going to come back from the amount of destruction that we have already created on this planet? What innovative new ideas, Aquarius, are we going to come up with that are going to support, rejuvenating this planet, getting life to thrive again on this planet, and for it to be equal across the board for everyone, right? So there's some significant energy around that as well. How are we going to clean up the destruction that we have created in our own lives individually and in the collective as a whole? We all contribute to the amount of garbage that exists on this planet. We all contribute to the overconsumption of products and the over purchasing of excessive amounts of products and things that we, again, don't necessarily need. I've talked about this in many videos too. Like, I'm such a less is more person. And at this point, actually, you might find yourself really being drawn way more to high quality products and high quality clothing and food and water and everything high quality as vibrationally we move up the ladder collectively, right? And so we're going to be craving those things and desiring those things and recognizing our power to choose higher quality things for ourselves and not give our power away to these commercials and allow them to hypnotize us into buying things that we don't need, buying things for, I just laugh when I see some of these, like, oh, it's solving a problem. But some of these problems are not even problems. It's a matter of perspective, right? It's just, again, we have gotten so lazy as a society as a whole. And that it's like, how are we going to come back from the destruction that we have created because of this overly comfortable, overly lazy society that we have created? And we created it together, right? We're all responsible for it. So how are we going to bounce back from that? What are we going to do differently now? And how are we going to live our lives differently to make less of an impact, negatively on this planet and for ourselves? That's really the question here. So it's also going to be bringing attention to matters of technology, politics, which I mentioned earlier, and revolution. So again, this is huge revolution energy. Do not be surprised if people start standing up and saying, no to bullshit, no to lies, no to, rules and regulations that absolutely do not serve the collective. Where are your thoughts on technology actually right now? Because we need to talk about the technology piece a little bit. Aquarius very much is about innovation and about technology and bringing new ideas forth when it comes to that. So where are your thoughts on technology and how we use technology, and actually taking a look at that. So over the next 20 years, we're going to be significantly considering our options and considering our moves and our steps into the future of how we are going to use technology. And I think there's going to be a mass awakening around how technology can benefit us and how it can be extremely harmful to us. And again, humanity is faced with this question of power. Are you going to give your power away to a technology that you don't even fully understand what you're creating at this moment, right? Because technology will never be a sentient being. Technology will always be AI, will always be artificial, as its name says, right? So where are we on this ladder with AI? How does humanity collectively feel about it? I know how I personally feel about it, and I see the beauty and the wonderful connections that technology can create, and I see the incredible power that it has to change our lives in very, very positive ways. But the question is, are we innovating enough? Are we looking for those and creating those positive solutions with technology? Or are there people behind the scenes that are wanting to use it for bad and wanting to use it for control and wanting to use it for intimidation and for fear, right? Because at the end of the day, this entire Pluto and Aquarius and this entire year and the next 20 years moving forward is so much about choosing love over fear. And it's this coming into union with love, with divinity, and recognizing that we cannot be happy as human individuals without love, without divinity. Love is the most powerful energy in this universe, and that is the energy that moves us forward, and it unites us, and it brings connection, and it brings harmony and peace. What does fear bring? Destruction, chaos, separation. So we have to choose. We have to decide now. And again, we are individually and collectively having to decide this. Are you going to choose to remain in fear? Look at your life. Look at different areas of your life. Major goosies on that one too. Look at all of the main areas of your life, health, wealth, relationships, all of that stuff. And just think about, where is love lacking in any of those areas? Because if there is love lacking in any of those areas, where is love lacking when it comes to yourself? When it comes to your self-love, your self-care? Pluto in Aquarius is asking you to choose between embracing love and focusing on love and putting out love and generating love within yourself on a continuous basis, or choose to stay in fear. Because when you stay in fear, you can be controlled. You can be told what to do, and you can be given solutions to problems that may not be solutions to non-existing problems. So we have to decide. And I know personally, I have had some very deep insight about this over the last few days. And I had to really, really think about what I choose for myself. How do I want to move forward in this year? Am I going to continue allowing certain fears that I had last year, for example, to, trickle, into this year and to continue controlling me and continue pushing me down that very narrow path of fear? Or am I going to just say, fuck it, let all of that go and wholeheartedly trust myself, wholeheartedly trust God to illuminate my path, to show me the next step, to trust my own intuition and to tune into that intuition and allow it to guide me. So before I make any hasty decision on anything, I always tune in first, and I connect to my own intuition, my own gut feeling first. How do I actually feel about this? Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? This is going to be, again, a continuingly unfolding theme in 2024 about our intuition, about our authenticity, right? It's like the cosmos, the universe literally is just asking us to, hey, can you guys all hold hands and love each other and love yourselves and just create a happy, harmonious life here on planet Earth? That's really all the universe is asking us to do. And we seem to be struggling with that so much, aren't we? And when I look out into the world and I look at this sort of perfect storm or this perfect chaos that we are all living in and experiencing, it's like I can see how much learning can come from all of this. And I can see how there's this massive evolutionary process we're all moving through, which is beautiful. But I also sometimes ask myself, like, how long is this going to take? And not because I'm in a rush, but it's just sometimes my own unfolding I get a little frustrated with, or I feel like it's taking so long. It's like, why does it take so long to learn certain lessons? And maybe that's something you can ask yourself right now. Why does it take so long to learn certain lessons? Why do we keep repeating things that are hurting us? Why? So, for a quick moment, let's talk about Pluto turning retrograde, because it will dip back into Capricorn later this year. It turns retrograde on May the 1st, where it's going to slide back into Capricorn. This is going to give us this quick little backstep into Capricorn, is going to give us this opportunity to revisit old structures. So there's going to be sort of this like check-in from the universe. What are some certain structures that you're seeing in your life right now that still feel like they're a part of your past, or there's like a repetition of your past? What is unprocessed? What is unhealed? What is not revised? That's really what that backstep is kind of going to be asking you. It's really highlighting to us at the end of the day. It's just going to give us an opportunity to see. So you might notice around mid-June that like, whoa, I still do that, or like, whoa, I still have like this or that or whatever. Like you're going to notice certain things about your patterns that might come up that you're going to just have greater insight about, which will give you, of course, the ability to actually completely break that pattern or completely let it go. So it's just a little bit of a, hey, remember that thing? It's that kind of energy. We also might feel during this time, so in the summer, or just before the summer, in June, we also might feel that we're a little bit being dragged back into that old system. So it'll be almost like the old system rearing its head again, going, oh, hey, remember us? And we were in control and we were in power. So yeah, like we're back and we're just going to kind of full force try and push some stuff on you guys. Are you cool with that? It's going to be a test. Let's simply put, it is going to be a test for humanity. And I think certain agendas will be pushed around that time, 6 months out. And again, it's just a test for humanity to see where we're at with our taking back power, taking back control, sovereignty, independence, authenticity, all of that. So keep an eye out for that and how you are feeling when these situations come up. What kind of feelings is that going to be generating within you? Maybe a good idea to take a look back at this video 6 months out from now. Now, because we have a very authoritarian past, right, when we think about it. So this is going to be sort of a dip back into that authoritarian nature of our leadership that we have had. And that's been reigning for a long time. So there will be a review of that. A complete moving forward once and for all into the sign of Aquarius as of November 19, 2024. Pluto will be staying in the sign of Aquarius after that for the next 20 years. So it makes its final entrance into Aquarius, staying in the sign of the water bearer until 2044. This is 20 years out. Now, let's talk very quickly about Aquarius and sort of the energy signatures of Aquarius and what that sort of means for us, what it brings. So as we're moving into the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius is an air sign, right? Even though the symbol on, like in a tarot card, for example, it would be the star card, represents the sign of Aquarius, which is the water bearer, right? So it's the man kneeling and pouring water onto the ground. So, and because of that, a lot of people think it's a water sign, but it's not. It is an air sign. The third and final air sign, actually, of the 3 air signs in the zodiac wheel, because it is the 11th zodiac sign of the 12. So air signs are all about the mind. This is all about intelligence and intellect. It is undoubtedly the most innovative, progressive, rebellious, and humanitarian of all of the zodiac signs. So Aquarius is also very intellectual. It is curious, deeply social. So again, representing this community and this need for community, this need for coming together. Aquarius is going to be highlighting that, making us more aware of that. It is also going to be making us more aware of sort of this rebellion energy. Again, this very revolutionary type of energy. This means that we are going to be thinking of solutions for ourselves individually in your own personal life and collectively as a human family that have long-term effects, which is very good, right? So when we come up with a certain solution, say the garbage problem, we don't want a temporary solution. We want something that is long-term and long-lasting. It's also going to be bringing this collective energy of healing. So this desire to heal the planet, to heal the human family, to heal community, or the sense of community within the human family. There's also this sense of healing on a very personal level. So more and more people are going to be interested in seeking counseling and coaching and all kinds of different natural methods that are in alignment with healing, that support healing. So that too, I think in the next 20 years is going to be exponentially growing. It's going to really, really pop the market. Not only healers are actually coming more online and people are beginning to discover more and more their capacity for healing, but also people that are not healers, that society in general, people are just going to be gravitating a lot more towards natural healing modalities and towards healing itself, where we're no longer sweeping shit under the rug, or we're no longer ignoring certain symptoms or certain signs, maybe our bodies are giving us, but actually being proactive and doing something about it. So it's bringing that energy in as well. I believe it's going to awaken this realization within humanity that, hey, maybe we can fix this. And maybe if we get it right this time, then we can solve some problems that have plagued this planet for millennia, and really do things differently. And innovation here, the sign of Aquarius brings that innovation to come up with these fresh new ideas that are really going to change our future and shape future generations' lives. So again, this is like huge. The sign of Aquarius very much represents teamwork, coming together, bringing our minds together to come up with solutions together that are going to be a win-win collectively for everyone. Got some confirmation on that one too. You're going to even notice for yourself that you're going to sort of start putting out your little spidey senses, and you're going to start to look for people and start gravitating and migrating towards people that are like-minded with you, that are more on the same page, that have a lot of the same visions or viewpoints about life in general, or about politics, or about whatever. How can we work for the greater good? How can we create systems and put certain protocols in place that truly serve humanity and the planet collectively, everything and everyone, and brings it into a very harmonious state, non-destructive state, but life-giving and life force generating kind of state? So this cutting edge inventive sign is pushing us to progress as a whole society. Like, come on, people, let's do this, right? We'll be in a unique position to find unity where it matters most and coming together on topics that are very, very important to so many people. I think that's another thing we're going to see in these coming years, is how people come together on really important topics like health and money and equality and clean water and food and all kinds of things, and really looking to come up with solutions to solve these world problems. So we, I think, are going to experience some pushback because there's always a test. And so the universe kind of delivers a little bit of a pushback and shows us that, hey, it's nice that y'all want to do this and want to bring all this peace, harmony, and kumbaya to the planet, but there are others that don't. And those others are going to push back. They're going to resist some of these changes and reforms, and they're going to resist wanting to allow, certain things like this to unfold and to to happen. Basically, the re-emerging of human power is going to be resisted on some level. Like, we have to expect that. I mean, we are talking about Pluto here after all, right? Which is death, destruction also, right? So again, before something dies, it has to kind of likes to, doesn't go down without a fight. All right. So that's something to consider. And it's something that we just have to recognize and sort of expect in a way, and know that, we're going to push past this. We're going to move through this. It's heavy energy. Yes, there's pushback. But I believe that love is so much more powerful than fear. And if we're not afraid of the pushback and we just charge forward, like fucking no matter what, then I think we're going to make some very big strides, very big positive changes. So there will be a lesson. Do not fear when it comes to the pushback. And even in your own life, right? So there's also this energy where it's actually asking us to come into more alignment again with our authenticity, and to come into alignment with being of service more. So you may be feeling called upon at this time to really connect to your own personal gifts, your abilities, your talents, whatever you're really, really good at, and whatever you're naturally good at. How can you use that to benefit others, to support others, to bring light to the world? How can you channel your love, your kindness, your appreciation, your light? How can you channel that and share it with the world? And it could be so simple. This does not need to be overthought. It is very individual and unique for each and every one of us. I often get this image of, like, you could literally be a kindergarten teacher who shows up every day, who is super loving and super helpful and kind and compassionate with the kids and very supportive. And, that is your contribution. Maybe that is how you contribute light and love to the world, is through taking care of those little babies and loving them and being sort of the mom while their moms are at work, right? So there are millions of ways, just like there are millions of people, there are millions and billions of possibilities of how we each can share our light and our love with the world. And that is what is being asked of us at this time. Pluto moving into Aquarius is asking each of us, can you step up and recognize that, you are powerful, that you have a gift of being able to spread love and kindness through your choice of embodying love and kindness and moving out of fear, moving out of worrying about stupid things that we don't need to worry about, but just having this compassionate heart when it comes to yourself and when it comes to life itself and giving back. Consider getting more involved in the betterment of our world, and understanding that even the smallest seeds can grow into a massive forest. As a matter of fact, nature again shows us that, demonstrates that every tiny, tiny little seed that half the time we don't even see germinates and all of a sudden starts to grow a tree. So think of your own love in that way, no matter how small, whether it's just a friendly smile to a stranger on a subway, whether it's just, a kind gesture of holding a door open for someone, whatever. Every single one of those little tiny things add up energetically and elevate the love energy on this planet. It makes a difference. Wherever you are and whoever experiences you, can you be a positive experience? Can you be a positive light for others? Now, the benefits and the drawbacks of our advanced society right now and how we're living and how we use technology is going to be under the magnifying glass significantly. Questions around ethical standards and practices, and whether developing AI the way that we have been, whether that's ethical or not, and whether that's something that we want to keep putting energy into. And more information about our ancestors will also be coming up at this time. There's so much knowledge and wisdom to be gained from seeing how they did certain things and what mistakes they made, what worked, what didn't work, basically. So there's going to be this deeper desire to connect with your past, with your ancestors, to figure out, who am I really? Where did I really come from? What's my lineage like? What were the people of my lineage like? And what powers, what gifts did they possess? Because we have to keep this in mind. And when I do coaching sessions for people, I remind them that you don't just bring the bad from your ancestors, you also bring the good. So we bring a combination of both positive and negative traits with us when we inherit from our ancestors. So more information about our ancestors is going to be coming to light in the coming years, and science is going to help us decode the past. Because technology has advanced so much, such an awesome way actually, we can research things now and get seriously more accurate results from testing and from different things than we ever did before, right? So science is actually going to really start revealing and helping us to understand our past and where we actually come from as a collective human family even. So there's already been some stuff on the internet circulating about this, but now it's going to ramp up. We will need to look at how we use technology and whether we're going to give up our sovereignty and power to it or learn to use it to our advantage. So it serves us, not we serve it. And that'll be sort of one of the main questions around technology that we're going to really need to look at as we move into more advancements. And we're going to be also asked to revolutionize certain elements of our lives. So what part of your life needs a bit of a revolution, needs updating, needs clearing out or up-leveling in a major way? And what can you do? What steps, small steps, can you start taking at this time to start leveling up your life, to start making some big changes, to start stepping into your mission, into your purpose more, to connect to that, to know who you are, and to really start embodying that love energy that you have within you, if that is what you desire to project out into the world, right? It's connecting with that. And so the planetary journey could deliver a few harsh lessons. Like I mentioned before, this Pluto into Aquarius over the next 20 years is certainly going to bring some massive changes to how we function as a society, to how we operate as individuals. And it's going to be reminding us of our strength, bringing forth this newfound sense of empowerment. So I believe the challenges that we're going to face are actually going to empower us and are going to put us on this path of like, we can fix this. We can change this for the better. So that is what I would like to close with. We have got this, okay? We definitely got this. And I think we just need to trust ourselves more, trust our intuition more, become more authentic, listen to that gut feeling and to whatever it's saying to you. Go with the flow, tune into yourself more, trust yourself more, love yourself more, and just project more love out into the world. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or if you got anything out of this video, I would really appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel as well. Subscribes are free and it supports channels like mine and others. A couple of clicks is all you need to do. It doesn't cost you anything, but we have exchanged energy in that moment. So thank you so much if you did that already. I truly, really, really appreciate you guys. And I love the comments, the positive comments I always get. So thank you, brothers and sisters. Let's keep going. We got this. We got this. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.